It was supposed to be a fresh start. The single dad veteran, Jack Miller, had spent months scraping every penny, fixing old radios, and working night shifts at the warehouse just to save enough for a reliable car. His little daughter, Emma, needed to get to school, and his broken-down pickup couldn't survive another winter. But as he walked into Prestige Motors, with a hopeful smile and a neatly folded envelope of savings, the world didn't treat him with the same respect he once earned wearing a uniform. Jack wasn't just any man. He was a decorated army medic, a hero who had patched up countless soldiers under fire. But now, wearing his faded jacket and scuffed boots, he looked like someone society had forgotten. Inside the shiny dealership, chrome cars sparkled like diamonds under the fluorescent lights, and so did the arrogance of the manager behind the glass desk. "Can I help you?" The dealership manager, Rick, asked without looking up from his phone. His tone oozed superiority. Jack smiled politely, placing his envelope on the desk. "Yes, sir. I'm looking for something dependable, used, maybe. Just something safe enough for my little girl." Rick finally looked up, scanning Jack from head to toe. His smirk deepened. "We don't really have anything in your price range. You might want to check the used car lot down the street. They've got older stuff." Jack stayed calm, though his knuckles tightened. "I've checked. Their vehicles aren't roadworthy. I saw your ad online. It said you had a few trade-ins under $5,000. Rick sighed, exaggeratedly. "Those are already spoken for." Then he snatched the envelope, peeked inside, and scoffed. "This is, what, $3,000? You can't even buy tires for most of our cars with this." People in the showroom had started watching, some with pity, others with quiet judgment. Jack's ears burned. "Sir," he said gently, "I'm not asking for charity. I just need something reliable. My daughter." Rick stood up sharply. "I said we don't sell junk here. I'm running a business, not a charity. So unless you've got real money, you can leave before I call security." A stunned silence filled the showroom. Emma, holding her small teddy bear, looked up at her father with wide eyes. "Daddy, did we do something bad?" she whispered. Jack knelt beside her, forcing a smile. "No, sweetheart. We just came to the wrong place, that's all." He stood, nodded once to the smirking manager, and walked toward the exit, his pride wounded but not broken. Just then, a commanding voice echoed from behind the glass doors. "What's going on here?" Everyone turned. A tall man in his late 50s, wearing a tailored suit and carrying the weight of quiet authority, walked in. The dealership owner, Mr. Anderson, had just returned from a trip. Rick immediately straightened up. "Oh, Mr. Anderson. Just handling a situation." This man was. But Anderson wasn't listening. His eyes were locked on Jack. For a long moment, the two men simply stared at each other. Then the owner's expression softened, as if a wave of memory had hit him. "Jack Miller," he said, his voice trembling. Rick frowned. "Wait, you know this guy?" Anderson walked closer, his eyes moistening. "Know him. This man saved my life." The room froze. Jack blinked, unsure. Then it clicked, the face, older now, but unmistakable. "Captain Anderson." "Yes," the owner said, voice thick with emotion. "I was bleeding out in the desert. You carried me 2 miles under fire to the evac zone. I never got to thank you properly." He turned sharply to Rick. "And you just threw him out." Rick's mouth opened, but no words came. Anderson turned back to Jack. "You have no idea how much I've owed you. You gave me a second chance at life, and this business, this success, none of it would exist without you." He placed a hand on Jack's shoulder. "You said you needed a car." Jack hesitated. "I don't want any favors. I just needed something affordable." Anderson smiled warmly. "It's not a favor, son. It's a debt long overdue." He looked toward the lot and pointed to a sleek, dark blue SUV. "That one's yours. No payments. No paperwork hassle. You've already paid for it, with your courage." Jack was speechless. Emma's little hand tightened around his. "Daddy, we can really have a car." Anderson knelt down beside her. "Yes, sweetheart. Your dad's a hero. He deserves the best." Tears welled in Jack's eyes, not from pride, but from relief, gratitude, and the feeling of finally being seen again. Around them, employees stood silently, some ashamed, others inspired. Rick couldn't meet anyone's gaze. Anderson looked at him coldly. "Rick, clean out your desk." If you can't treat people with dignity, you don't belong here. Then, turning to the crowd, Anderson said, "Let this be a reminder. You never know who you're talking to, what they've done, or the battles they've fought just to stand in front of you. Respect costs nothing, but means everything." Outside, as the sun dipped low, Jack placed Emma in the passenger seat of their new car. She giggled as he started the engine, the soft hum filling the air like music. He looked in the rearview mirror, not at the road behind, but at the life he'd survived, the struggles he'd overcome, and the future finally opening before him. As he drove off, Anderson stood by the door, saluting quietly. Jack returned it through the window, soldier to soldier, man to man. The world might forget its heroes sometimes. But fate never does. And if you believe kindness still matters, if you think every person deserves a second chance, don't forget to like this video, share this story to remind others of humanity's power, and subscribe for more heart-touching true stories that restore your faith in people.